Hello Tuesdays, it's Gav. Yes, this is the second video of the day. I suppose you can tell by the red t-shirt. I was going to get the costume department to run me up a quick check shirt as you normally see me in, but unfortunately they've taken the afternoon off. Forgot to say when I was right at the end of the last video, just saying what's coming up. I've got plans. I was talking to Reilly on the Messenger on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, because I've got a couple of figures which will work their way up to him at some stage, but I just wanted to rework the faces. I wasn't happy with them. That's those Waffen SS Panzergrenadiers I did ages ago, and I think they'll look better on one of Greg's dioramas than I'll ever get done. But I wasn't never happy with the faces when I did them, so I'm going to repaint the figures. And he was just saying figure paint, the face painting part of it is the bit he struggles with the most. And I was talking to Mike on Messenger as well. Mike doesn't have a channel, but you know you are, Mike. And he was saying, you know, he found figure painting the hard bit on his scale models. Because let's face it, we all, just like I think I can paint a halfway decent figure. No way is it award winning. No way will it be on anybody's box art. But you know, I can at least, I'm probably up a stage on my figure painting. But I can stick a decent figure next to one of my models, my 1 in 35 scale models, and I'm putting a fairly decent painted figure next to a piece of tat. That's tat meaning rubbish in the UK. Greg sent me some photographs of his striker last night. He's building. It's Greg Reilly 1 in 35 scale models. I'll put a link to Greg's channel as I'm talking about him all the time. If you're following his striker build, that's a modern wheeled armoured personnel carrier. He's doing an ambulance version, and he sent me some pictures, and he won't mind me saying, I said back to him, the way he's done it, it looks like it's got weight. It looks like, at the moment when I do one, apart from all the bits that are wrong with it, it really at the moment they still just look like a plastic kit that's been painted over and had some additions put on it. You know, they don't look like I suppose you could say a miniature version of what it's supposed to be. It's still very much, my stuff is still very much, you know, a bit of plastic with some paint on. Greg's gone past that stage where his stuff looks, you know, if obviously you know it's a kit, but it looks like the real thing, if that makes sense. When he showed me the pictures, they were just on his bench, you know, nothing special. They haven't been put in a photo booth or anything like that. And Paul was the same, military modeller Paul. When he did his reveal video, they look like you could get in and drive them away, you know. And what you sometimes find is you get really decent builders of kits and dioramas, but not brilliant on the figure painting side. Because let's face it, we all have bits we gravitate to more than the other, or we start off wanting to build a kit, but we can't, or we don't think we can paint figures. Now both of them, as I've always said, and I've said this when I've been crying my eyes out over kits I can't build, and when I've advised people whether it's war game figure painting or larger scale figure painting, there are some really talented people out there that from the start have just got it. It's galling, but they just got that talent, you know, and it happens in any type of, I'm sure there are doctors out there that, you know, there is a surgeon that can go and zip somebody open with an electric bread knife and still do as better job as a bloke with these scalpels and all the rest of it. Maybe, maybe not, but that's the type of thing. So what, after all this waffle is, what I'm trying to say is, another link I'll put in the channel in a bit is, or the description below, a good friend of the channel, Victor of Vic's Scale Mini, Vic's Minis, sorry, Victor, mainly does war games figures, busts and larger scale figures. He does all that genre from 10mm upwards. He does do the odd model in the background, but he doesn't really show them. So and they are, you know, he said only once in a while. But he sent me, as we know, a couple of kits. You'll see a thank you video for him somewhere. Oh, I'm doing this for. But there'll be a thank you video up on the channel. And when I was going through the Sherman that he sent me, they've got, there's I think it's 3 or 4 figures. There's a commander, and what they hadn't shown on the artwork in that was there's a couple of torso figures. So after all this, what I thought I would do sometime this week, hopefully, is this little guy here, this torso, 1 in 35 scale US tanker, Europe, World War II, European Theatre of Operations, I believe. I thought we'd have not necessarily paint the whole figure, because I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, but I'll maybe paint the helmet and the jacket, whatever he's wearing, and leave the flesh details, because it's only the neck and the face, and we'll have a go at painting that. Whether I do a voiceover one, which I've never done yet, or I'll just paint it and chat as I'm going. You know, what I call fire and forget videos. I don't know. So that's coming up this week, hopefully, if not next week, but it'll be in the next couple of weeks. So I thought we'd paint this guy up. The face, there's a lot of detail in the cheeks and the jaw, a bit trap jaw, but you know, there's a lot of deep creases in there, and to be straight, let's face it, most people would start on some plastic figures. You know, I mean, my advice is don't just go out and buy resin figures because they're resin figures. You know, it's not going to make you paint them any better. You know, if you've got free, but you know what I mean, if they've come with a kit, paint them, learn to paint them, or buy some. I get the idea that it's just like painting any figure. If you've not got a love for it, yes, you don't paint so well. But I thought we'd start off, paint this guy first with, you know, basic. We're not going to, you know, basic to get him up to a decent standard without, you know, he's not going to be winning awards because it's me painting, and I couldn't buy an award. Never mind win one. We'll try that face first. If you guys want it, I've got, again, in Vic's kit he sent me, there's about 4 figures, and I can pick another figure out, and we'll go from beginning, showing in this guy here, by the way, I'll show the wet palette, I'll show the thinness and thickness of the paints, I'll show obviously the paints I'm using, and they'll be mostly bog standard paints, so, you know, there won't be massively anything fancy. I might show you some alternative paints, but they will be the ones that most guys will have access to, and there's not going to be a huge amount of different paints either. You know, I'll try and show you how you can more or less paint a fairly decent figure with just a couple of flesh type of paints. But if that's a success and anybody wants to see another one, I thought we'd hoik one out of the box and we'd show sticking it together for and yes, I know all you guys if you can stick models together, you can stick figures together, but that side of it is more again for people who've just picked up their first kit and you know, sticking the figures together if they need sticking together, filling if they need filling, that type of thing, and then we'd paint the whole figure. So yeah, waffle just to tell you I'm painting a torso. But yeah, that's going to be coming up in the next week or two. It'll be, as I say, for beginners and for people that just want to at least get to a standard where they can stand back and the small scale figure looks the same as a small scale vehicle, whatever that he's in or stood next to, or she. You know, let's just see what we can do with what we've got, and you know, before we go into any fancy alpine miniatures and all the rest of it, just get some basic figures and see what we can make of them. I have got to send off, wife will kill me, I have got to send off for another box of figures actually, for my own little diorama I'm doing, and probably paint a couple of them up as well. I'll do an unboxing should I ever make the purchase and get them in, but we'll have an unboxing of those. And I just thought, as well as doing, I do the occasional painted war game figure tutorial, but they're all overly long, so just like this video, so I need to keep them down, try and edit them a bit better. but I thought we might start doing some 1 in 35 scale figures, you know, to go along with the kits I'm building. Guys, waffle, 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 no substance, definitely no style, but that's it for today. I promise you, won't talk to your ears anymore. So I look forward to seeing you at this painting tutorial at some stage. Take care, guys.